Hi Trisha, today is October 14th, and I really gotta go to the bathroom. By the way, you're welcome for sharing. Alright, but on to real news. I got to leave my class a half an hour early because I was the first one, well, me and my lab partner were, the first people to finish our robot maze. Yes! That's right, I'm a genius. But I don't want to brag, so on to other news. It's time for my number 2 confession. So I'm sure you're wondering what this confession is. Aren't ya? Aren't ya? I'm pretty sure that you know about this, because I think that when it happened, I ran to you and told you. So when we first moved into the house that Mom's living at right now, I was probably 15, because I was in sophomore year. So, I went to open the window by the kitchen sink and pulled the tension rod down a little bit that the curtain was hanging from, and it caused the tension rod to kind of meh. So in an effort to fix it, I tried lifting the side up, and the other side just crashed down, and it pulled the curtain down, and the curtain hit Mom's snowman mug that she got when she was born, I think. So it was 40 years old, give or take a few years, and came crashing to the ground and shattered into a bunch of chunks. And I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? This is a really sentimental snowman mug, and you know how Mom is with snowmen, she loves them more than her children, so I had to fix it. So I got some Elmer's glue, because that was probably the best glue we had in the house at that time. I began putting it back together, and sooner or later I got it back into the shape of a mug, and I ran the blow dryer over it to dry all the glue out, and I put it back on the shelf, and it looked good, and I was like, Mom's not that observant, she's not gonna know. So I just left it there, and she never noticed it until a year later. I remember she was doing the dishes, and I'm assuming she looked over at it, and I happened to be in the room at the time, and she mentioned something about how the age of it was kind of wearing on it, and it looked in bad shape, probably because it was so old. And I was like, yeah, it's so old that it cracks a little, that's normal. He left it at that, and she never really brought it up. And then I remember 2 years later, she finally looks at it and realizes no, that's not wear, that's definitely been broken. And of course I am the first person she comes to, do I look like I caused trouble? No. But yeah, so she comes to me and she's like, did you break this? And I'm like, alright, I'm not gonna lie, obviously I broke it, and I was so ecstatic about how awesome of a job I did putting it back together that I wanted to say, yes I did, but look at it, I'm freaking awesome, I put it back together. So I was like, yeah, I did. But I did 3 years ago, and I put it back together so well that you didn't even notice for 3 years. And she was like, what? And yeah, and it's still actually sitting on that shelf, and there's a big crack through the face, and I wish I had a photo of it so I could post it on here. And I should have taken it yesterday when I was at her house, but I didn't, to show you what it looks like. But yeah, it just has cracks in it randomly, and then chips missing from pieces that I couldn't find that were on the ground. And yeah, I broke it. And this is my public apology to my mother for breaking her snowman mug that she adored so dearly. I'm deeply sorry, I really am. See you tomorrow.